need to start by first framing 4 of our butterflies with the A and B strips, which have been cut as per the pattern provided for this week. Once we have that framing on and we're going to press out towards those frames, we do need to trim these down to make the required angles that we have them in the quilt. This does waste a little bit of fabric, but this is the only way that I could figure out in my little brain how to get this done. So I'll just fast forward getting all the frames on and then I will join you back. To achieve the setting of the butterflies, I had to bring in 2 different tools, which is my 12.5-inch square and my 1 inch by 12.5, I think, inch Creative Grids rulers, because what we need is a unfinished size for this block of 13.5 inches. So by having my 12.5 plus that 1 inch, I get that 13.5. Now, to get the angle, all I'm doing is placing the 1/4 inch line, as I'll show you in just a moment, on that bottom corner, on where the seam lines intersect. So that 1/4 inch mark, you can't see because of the light glare, crosses over where the 2 seam lines are. You can see it better on this side, that we've got a 1/4 inch past that intersection, and you just move the ruler until you get 13 inches between those 2 points with a total of 13.5. That sets your angle, plus gives you the width for our unfinished block. So I'm just going to slice off the one side here because of course my 12.5-inch square misses by 1 inch on one side. So once we've got this one side done, we just need to line up along that bottom edge and once again get our 13 inches across from corner to corner. Hopefully that makes sense. Alternatively, if you have a larger ruler, you just need to make sure that those 1/4 inch marks either inside your 13.5 inches are hitting those corners to get that first angle on the bottom. Once you've got that angle established, it is easy to then trim the other 3 sides. In the pattern, I have included smaller sashing pieces for the butterflies, which you can just frame them the same way, but then your butterflies will actually just sit straight in your quilt. This is the only way I could figure out how to do it with the tools that I have. So hopefully it makes sense. Now the rough angle is about 20 degrees, but that's just a rough angle. I didn't measure it perfectly. All I knew was that my finished size of the block needed, or unfinished size, needed to be 13.5. And I thought, well, 12.5 on one, 13.5, and I went from there. So good luck, everybody. And I'll leave this playing through so you can just watch me do it again. I really do hope that that made sense to everyone and you followed what I was doing. It's just important to pay attention to where those seam allowances are and make sure you've got the 1/4 inch past that. Once you set your angle with the first cut, the rest is easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now, of course, our butterflies on each side are set on a different angle. So that first one, I set my 2 points being the lower left-hand corner and the top right-hand corner. So this time we need to pick the lower right-hand corner and the upper left, and we just do exactly the same thing. Once again, let's just watch through and let this play so you get a really good idea of what you need to do. Yeah, you saw that right, peeping in at the bottom left-hand corner there. I am currently holding the rotary cutter in my mouth. A very bad habit, do not recommend. On the plus side, it is closed, so I get points for that, right? Do not hold your rotary cutter in your mouth. Ignore the man behind the screen. And there we have it, our 2 butterflies set roughly on a 20-degree angle facing in opposite directions. Now, I really do hope that you all give this a try. And of course, it doesn't really matter if your points aren't perfect on those corners. We just need an unfinished size of 13.5 to go into the quilt. So don't stress too much if you're not able to get it perfectly lined up. Just make sure that you have a 13.5 inch square and that your butterflies are on the opposite angles. And too easy, it'll go in, it's your quilt, and no one will even know. That's the best part. Now for the rest of section A, we need pieces C, D, E, F, and G, and we need all 5 butterflies, so you'll cut another 2 on those angles and leave 1 straight up and down. And then the assembly of this section is pretty self-explanatory from there. So I will leave this video at that point, let you construct your section A, and in the pattern that is actually linked to the description box below, you will also find your cutting requirements for the borders and that film strip that goes in the middle. Okay, folks, thank you very much. I'll see you all again real soon.